Michael Anstey is now the 7th Earl of Hincham, and to his family's surprise and dismay, is determined to restore the ancestral home Chelworth to its former glory. Michael is used to getting his own way, but his estranged wife, Virginia, is not easily persuaded to fit in with his plans.
You knew him since childhood, they say.
Something like that.
He'll never live here.
You don't reckon?
Oh, look at it. Besides, if you talk too much, Murdoch.
What's that then, Harold?
Nothing.
Is it Minton's place?
Look, I've been offered a very fair deal. I don't want any trouble. And you, strictly speaking, are trespassing.
Minton set it up, didn't he?
I said nothing. Leave 'em be. Let 'em get on with it. It's way out of our league.
Sorry. Sorry to have kept you waiting.
It's all right. They say you have a lovely place here, Mr. Chivers, and they're right. You swim a lot?
Hmm? Oh, yes, all the time. Sure. So, thinking of selling up, Mr. Minton? What put that idea into your head? Just at the present, I mean.
Seemed the time was right.
What sort of money are we talking?
Bottom land, 2,000 an acre.
Think so?
Agricultural land, but if 'twas ever to change use, see.
As building land? Not very likely.
But if 'twas.
What have you heard, Mr. Minton?
Nothing. Oh, I know the old Earl, him has just died. I know he was talking about selling the estate. And in case the new man changes all that...
Who says he will?
If he does.
Selling the estate? To whom?
I wouldn't know.
Let's talk about something else. Too early to offer your scotch, I suppose.
Ah.
How about a cup of coffee before you go?
That'd be nice. This new bloke's got a few bob behind him, then.
We have yet to meet.
See, maybe he's got plans. When I started, land was for growing things on. Times change, eh?
Morning.
Oh, hello. I don't think you know Stan Minton. This is Russell Fairless, your tireless MP. Mr. Minton has a farm immediately bordering the western boundary of Lord Hincham's estate. Thinks I may wish to buy it.
Haven't said those exact words.
Ah, you're selling up then, Mr. Minton.
Maybe. If ever it was free for building land, see, you'd have a bargain.
I don't think that's very likely, not in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, well, that's where the big money is, isn't it? Backing the outsider, under certain circumstances. That's how the rich get richer.
What about your coffee, Mr. Minton?
No, I've cut along. Just thought I'd keep you in the picture.
I'm very grateful to you.
No, I can find my own way.
Do you want it?
Interesting.
Yeah, not exactly Chelworth, though.
I haven't given up Chelworth.
From what I hear...
Yes, Russell, I know you hear a lot. Let's say it's interesting. Would you like a cup of coffee?
What does it mean?
I don't know exactly. This Hodney character.
Jim? Oh, he's a childhood friend. Do you think it's just accidental, the timing of it?
You mean Minton putting his farm up? No, I don't. I thought things were slow and reflective down in the country.
Mm.
Does he expect you to buy?
Do I need to?
I've no idea. He intends to make a killing, that's clear. I could find out more, or try to. You remember you're coming to dinner tonight?
Ah, yes.
I've invited Russell Fairless.
Who?
Your ignorance does you credit on this occasion. Government backbencher, very ambitious, very suave, and anxious to meet you.
To meet me?
He's also your local MP.
What's he like?
He's big on television.
I imagine you'll sell. Pity, but that's the way things are nowadays. When? In fact, I believe I heard that you were selling.
My brother was somewhere down that road.
That was the least of your brother's mistakes.
Oh, dear. Sounds a little frank.
Dina knows quite a lot about Chelworth through her work.
I should like to hear what you have to say.
I'm an art historian, Lord Hincham. I haven't made a special study of your case.
Well, I'm sure you haven't had time.
There's an old story, really. The collapse of a particular kind of private fortune.
You mentioned my brother's mistakes.
That was...
It was what?
It was uncalled for.
Ah, now you're going to disappoint everybody by having nice manners, Dina.
What I think is happening, what I imagine you're all trying to say, is that the tide has gone out and won't be coming back in again. Not for a particular class in this country.
I can more easily understand the term mistake.
Now you're going to disappoint everybody by not having nice manners.
Say what you feel, Dina.
All right. An example. You had an ancestor, Stanford Anstey. He acquired, under very well-documented circumstances, a set of watercolor sketches by Turner. Those sketches have been seen once, in 1928, when 2 of them were photographed. Now, I know what's yours is yours and all that, but...
What else?
Well, for me, the Turners would have been enough in themselves. I mean, we don't even know if they exist any longer. But you, as the owner of Chelworth, should be looking out for half a dozen other things that have just kind of wafted away. I mean, important things, artistic treasures, if you like.
Are you saying they've been lost or stolen?
I tried to visit your house once. You'd know how difficult that was.
Yes.
And yet the house itself is of enormous historical interest.
Perhaps our friend is going to point out that the house and the estate are and have been a not inconsiderable albatross round the family's neck.
Oh, sure. And that historical interest and private property aren't always brother and sister. And that he can't make his fortune out of the land anymore unless you and your kind get it redesignated as building land.
Aha. Yes, an interesting idea, but not very likely.
Let's have more coffee.
No, I must go, really. I have to meet a plane at Heathrow.
I do hope we meet again.
I'm sure we shall.
Who on earth would want to build in such a beautiful spot?
Almost anybody. Money, Mrs. Fairless. Money now. To hell with everything else.
If you drive any slower, we're going to get picked up in any case.
What that girl said was disgraceful.
Don't be ridiculous, Eileen. Anyway, what on earth does it matter?
What did she mean about having his land redesignated? Is that an actual possibility?
Just talking through her hat.
Only people in the know would be able to say that. But how lovely for them. If they could suddenly build houses. Nice houses. No wonder people were after his land. Still are, I dare say.
Eileen, I must warn you that talk of this sort is quite exceptionally dangerous. I really have no interest in whether the fellow sells or not.
Or none that anyone could find out without a lot of trouble.
You're a dangerous bitch.
But not from driving too slowly.
Isn't Eileen Fairless a scream? Your wife lives in Paris, I believe.
He likes you.
He likes women.
Do you remember seeing someone called Keith Shedden on the box from time to time, spouting about economics?
No, you're not saying.
Ah, but yes.
The Countess and Keith Shedd. Cuddly Keith.
I don't know why reading is thought to improve the mind.
How fascinating. What else do you know?
What do you make of him, really, Frankie?
Calm, determined, a bit dotty.
You like him?
I think he's a dish. Hello, Francis Oh, hello. Oh, thank you. We were just talking about it. No, he's here. Hold on.
Do I tell him you think he's a dish? Hello. Oh, you didn't have to. Dina's number, yes.
7222144.
7222144. Oh, really? That'll be a first for me. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'll tell her. Bye.
What'll be a first for you?
It's hiring a helicopter. Hate the idea.
And Dina?
Yes?
Well?
I think we do have the most amazingly successful dinner parties.
Dad! Hello, Jamie. Hello, Dad. Come on, let's go.
I always wondered who actually sat in hotel bedroom chairs.
Now you know. You've grown, Jamie.
Did my sister get back for the funeral?
She's in London. I want to talk to you both.
And Mum's?
I saw your mother in Paris. What were you doing in the Rockies?
Backpacking. Walking.
Alone?
With a friend. There was a piece about you in Chelworth in one of the English papers on the plane.
How well do you remember it?
Hardly at all. It's funny to think it's yours.
Ours?
Not really.
You've been a Viscount for all of 2 weeks.
Well, I can't say I've noticed. What did you want to talk to me and Tish about?
How tired are you?
I'm all right.
I want us all to live together again.
Room service.
Ah, yes, thank you.
It's okay.
Let him take it. Thank you. Listen, Jamie. A lot of things have gone wrong in the past. You and I haven't seen each other as much as I'd have liked. But I believe we can help each other. Enormously. All of us, all together again.
Have you talked to anyone else about this?
You drank your brandy.
Look, there's a man, a friend of Mum's.
Keith Shedden?
You know about him?
I'm seeing him later today.
No. Well, that'd be disastrous.
You think so?
Totally. This is just terrible.
You're tired. Think about it tomorrow. Sleep first.
And that's it?
What?
Jump when you say jump.
Yes?
Michael Anstey.
Don't tell me. You rang to say what a great time you had last night.
Something like that.
At 6:30 in the morning.
It's a beautiful day. I want to offer you breakfast.
Fine. Have it sent round in an hour and a half. Listen, if there's anything I hate more than a languid Englishman, it is a pushy one, all right?
How did you know it would be me?
I eat at 9 on my way to work.
Fine. Just tell me where.
There you are.
Good morning. I went for a walk. Paris is full of views. Everybody's more bad-tempered than ever.
It was sweet of you to come.
I wanted to come. Your mother proposed to me, not far from here.
I don't believe you.
You were the immediate, almost immediate outcome.
On the corner, just at the end of the street here, there's a plaque commemorating the shooting of some young resistance men in 1944. When I first saw it, there were flowers on the pavement beneath, and so there were today. That's very grand, I think. You, obviously, have been having deep thoughts.
What am I going to do, Daddy?
I can't tell you. When your grandfather died and we sold Foxen House, I was a very young man, I think not yet 30. At the time, I had no option but to sell. I've always bitterly regretted it. You're right. This is an agreeable place to live, and you are enviably rich. Michael, and you're right here too, is unpredictable. But I think that something very good may come of this inheritance.
Oh, but what?
In the past, he has had a gift for doing the wrong thing, as they say here. I think this may be his chef-d'oeuvre. This may be so wonderfully wrong that we are translated to the level of art.
Do you really think so?
I think he loves you, Ginny.
How much do you know about art?
Not much.
Okay, I don't know what's going on in contemporary art in Sao Paulo at the moment, but I do know a lot about the major private collections over here. And a hell of a lot about painters like Hamilton, Copley, Cousins.
And Turner?
And Turner, yes.
I thought Copley was an American.
Oh, you're smart, Barton. You don't have any paintings of the first rank, or you're not supposed to. But what you do have is interesting and valuable, and probably rotting to pieces.
It's a mess. How did you come to meet Russell Fairless?
Is that a change of subject?
Let me make my position clear. When I leave you, I'm driving to Oxford to clear the way for my wife to return to this country. I want to restore the fortunes of Chelworth. I shall need your help.
Restoring the fortune. I mean, what does that mean? I mean, where are we? In a 19th century novel?
I'm going to live there.
You're not selling. Alan said...
You work across the road here?
At the university, yes.
I shall need your help as an expert, obviously, and because I like you.
Aren't we ahead of the game a little?
Why did you let me buy you breakfast?
Not to play footsie. If you ring again, make it in the hours between 8 and midnight.
Isn't it all rather bull at a gate? Have you looked at the will?
It's extensive, but nothing thorny. He gets everything apart from a few unimportant bequests to his sister. It's all very old-fashioned.
Good.
I feel guilty it's quite so full of cobwebs. Perfectly sound, but untended. I'm not sure either how he wants to act on his brother's negotiations to sell.
Does he have a choice?
I think he has, yes. I introduced him to Russell Fairless last night.
That MP fellow, was that kind?
The point is, David, he's a very rich man in his own right. He's he's direct. He's in a hurry, but in a not very obvious way. It's as though the world is his to do what he likes with.
Good heavens. I hope you disabused him of that idea.
I think you'll find him disconcerting.
Doesn't sound like my cup of tea at all. Where does Fairless fit into this?
Well, I've dug all this out in a bit of a hurry. The noble lord has an agent, a man called Furbank, you may remember. There's something odd about the late Earl's desire to sell the estate. He was going along nicely with an offer from a pension fund when there suddenly appeared a consortium of other speculators.
Who?
I'm trying to find out exactly, but including a man called Ewan Chivers. Well, he's a near neighbour of Chelworth. Some land,
Quite a bit of land, in fact. But very lucrative gravel pits. Bloody wealthy. Most of the rest of the money is city money, of course. But this Chivers is interesting. And I thought it was worthwhile having Fairless in the picture as well.
And is he?
I don't know. That is, I don't know for certain. But it's his sort of territory.
Looking good.
Sorry to bother you. Perhaps it was better not to come to the house.
Chance meeting, Robert.
Look, I'm worried.
So I see. I don't know that I can help you.
You don't? Well, that bloody man shows every sign of cancelling the sale of the estate altogether and hanging on to what he's got.
Which he has every right to.
You don't mind?
It's his land.
This is new from you. I worked on his brother for nearly a year to push him in your direction.
Nothing of the sort. We made a formal counter-offer that I understand was under active consideration. I don't know that any special pressure was applied.
Considerable special pressure was applied. I risked my neck for you.
News to me.
You don't seem to understand. This new man...
Yes. I shall watch your step there.
My God, Ewan, you're very cool about it.
Must go. Nice to have met you by accident like this. You're obviously preoccupied by your end of things at the moment. When you get time to think...
Now, don't you give me that!
I was going to say, when you get time to think, you'll see that nothing that I have done has been, shall we risk saying it, illegal. The contrary.
You bastard!
Maybe, but sensible. Keep in touch.
If I go, we all go.
No, Robert, if you go, it'll be well merited. I shall be first to say so.
Hi, Keith Shedden.
Hello. Thank you for seeing me.
Would you like to walk for a moment, or we can go to my rooms?
Let's walk. Come to the point. Almost certainly, I'm coming back to this country to live, and I've asked Virginia to return also. Perhaps she's spoken to you.
No.
I want to live with her as man and wife. I realize this puts a difficulty in all our paths, but I don't think it's anything insuperable for any of us.
You think not?
I have no rights over Virginia. I'm asking her to observe the forms of marriage, I suppose.
Isn't that a bit old-fashioned?
Well, I was looking at it from whether it can work or not. We will live together as the Earl and Countess of Hinsham. What arrangements she makes elsewhere and with whom have nothing to do with me.
You'll forgive me if I'm less than enchanted.
I want you to talk to her. I'm being frank. I don't think it's ended, the marriage. But for the time being, that's beside the point. She's free to see you and whatever you wish.
You're a cold-blooded bastard.
Yes, I think one has to be, don't you? You don't think I came here to do you a favor? Look, we don't have to be friends, you and I, but we don't have to be enemies either. Talk to her, hmm?
Oh, yeah, certainly.
Good. Well, we shall see then.
Yeah. We'll see.
This is the only way we can do it at a glance. We can drive over the ground later if you like.
We could just talk about it.
I've marked the tenancies on both sides of the river. There's 8 altogether. You okay?
Getting used to it.
My grandfather once owned all the land, as far as Market Street in the centre of town. He sold some and my father sold the rest. What my brother did, or commanded Furbank for him, was to amalgamate the farms as the smaller tenancies expired. I can remember quite small fields and plenty of hedges and ditches, woods, owls, Alan.
Tremendous.
These fields all look very good. But the tenants have beggared themselves to bring them on like this. Drainage, colossal capital debts in machinery and equipment. And then the bubble burst, the EEC.
You seem to know something about it.
Look!
Looks wonderful from a distance.
We all do from a distance.
Is that Michael?
Possibly. Seems on course to overfly us.
I don't get the chance to go up. Oh, no.
I don't really want to.
Does he intend to land?
I shall answer for a moment. What are we supposed to do? Wave loyally? I'm going inside.
I'd like to fly to the west bank of the river.
Bloody man Thornton.
Morning.
Do you always drive at 60 miles an hour over private ground?
When Commander Furbank unlocks the gates for me, yes, I do.
Lady Earshot, may I introduce Mr. Thornton? This is Lord Hincham's daughter, Lady Patricia.
Been trying to reach you for days.
What is your name?
Thornton. I farm the other side of the river.
A tenant.
That's it, a tenant.
And have you come to act surly and disagreeable, or is this your natural manner?
Lady Eschalt, I've had Elmar's farm for 8 years. Been trying to reach you for days. What the hell's going on?
Thornton, you really are a pain.
Come to the house.
You make an
No, I want to
appointment
hear
to
this.
talk to me at the estate office.
I want to know what you and Chivers are up to.
You make an appointment to talk to me at the estate office.
Is it your father up in the helicopter?
Is that really any business of yours?
Oh, Septish. And as you go, would you observe 20 miles an hour in our drive? Thank you so much. Would you be kind enough to fetch us coffee, madam?
Coffee? You know what coffee is, madam.
Who is he?
A lout. Can't his wife teach him manners? Or at least how to drive sensibly?
His wife died 3 years ago. Until quite recently, he was on the bottle.
Neither of which are extenuating circumstances. Shall we ever see Murdoch again, do you think?
I'll chivvy him up. Excuse me.
Richard was terrified of him. I can't imagine why. The commander, I mean. Oh. Just look at this, will you? How incredibly snobbish of your father to want to live here.
Live here? Has he said so?
Of course he hasn't said so. But it's just the sort of crazy thing that would come into his head. I wonder where all the pictures are. In the store, I suppose, but where?
Can we explore?
If you like.
Oh, come on. You're just as curious as I am, Aunt Ollie.
Yes, well, I have lived here. And I hated it.
Who's you and Chivers?
Oh, anybody, does it matter? I suppose Michael has already convinced himself that he loves nothing so much as the soil at heart. This place is filthy dirty. It's a nightmare.
I can't see him bringing his Chinese girl here.
You're such a simpleton, Tish. Where are all the pictures?
Was Uncle Richard all there?
What a disgusting remark. No, he wasn't.
What are we looking at?
You know whose this is?
You and Chivers?
Wensley Gravel. Chivers bought it from a small family business in 1968. Do you know what your friend Eileen Fairless was called before she married?
Wensley.
Just so. Chivers has a gravel business with 1,000 acres of ridgeland here.
He's the big cheese.
He's the big cheese.
Whose was this?
This was the nursery. This was mine. How frightening.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, help me.
Did you do yours?
No. Your father.
Was there a schoolroom?
It's all very tedious. Come on downstairs.
Well, where's Daddy's name?
He has all the time in the world to put it on now.
Thornton, Lieutenant, Elmhouse Farm.
Let's get out of this din. Now, what do you want? I haven't got much time.
I don't know who this other gentleman is.
This is my solicitor, Mr. Rawtenstall. You've got something you want to get off your chest, Mr. Thornton.
Your brother knew nothing about farming. No more than your father before him, by all accounts.
You're a Yorkshireman, Mr. Thornton.
Now we find out, after his funeral, that he was going to sell the estate. To you and Chivers, I mean.
You didn't know?
I knew about the sale, common knowledge. But not to Chivers, no, that's all news.
What would be wrong with Chivers acquiring the land?
For you? Nothing.
Do you have to be so bloody rude?
You and Chivers is a land speculator, not a farmer. Your rentsman will never get bigger. You might say the party's over for us, and for you. Take a big man to keep this valley under plough. If you had half an agent, he wouldn't have got this far. And now I find that Minton's put his land up for sale.
I know. But the estate is not up for sale.
That's official, is it?
That's straight from the horse's mouth. I'm not selling.
Does Commander Furbank know that?
That's all.
I tell you this, Lord Incham. One way or another, you've got a hell of a fight on your hands.
Apparently we can get lunch with the police. You own it.
Did you know it was all as bad as this?
Nobody could afford to live here any longer, not even you, brother mine.
I'm going to live here, Olivia.
On your own?
Not on my own.
You will beggar yourself to no purpose. That's all gone, what we remember, Michael.
Virginia and I are going to live here again as man and wife.
Does she know?
She'll accept.
What a fool you are, Michael! The two of you rattling around here, talking over old times. I've been top to bottom of the place with Tish. Have you seen the North Wing? It's a nightmare. You will ruin yourself. And as has happened before, when you get bored, you will bolt. Doesn't matter, of course. Nobody in London takes you or her seriously. But in the end, you'll have to admit defeat.
I don't give a damn about London. And I'm not doing it just to restore the aristocracy to its rightful place. I'm not living here just to have the hunt ball in the house or to give wine and cheese for every local charity under the sun.
What then?
Do you remember this library when Grandpa had it? I can just dimly remember it. And this collection of coins, the stamp albums, God, wasn't it wonderful then?
A very expensive way of living out a second childhood.
No, it's a business proposition. But we have lived here for 280-some years.
You will never stick it out.
Maybe not. But if it doesn't sound too arrogant, I've tried everything else. Now I shall try this.
My brother would like you both to join him in the library.
Any sale to any party contemplated by my brother is cancelled. You can have it as an assurance from my solicitor that nothing binding has been signed. All deals are off.
That's no part of my business.
That's what I would have thought. Second point. If, as I've heard today, there is land adjacent to my own land, in fact sharing 2 boundaries with my land, that has been offered for sale and will be coming onto the market, I expect to have heard of this as a matter of urgency from you. I'm talking about Minton.
Yes, I know.
Oh, you know. And yet you've not told me. Now, why is that?
This is ridiculous. You want to hear every piece of pub gossip.
How much is it gossip that some sort of consortium of local interest was bidding for the estate, including Mr. Ewan Chivers?
Look.
And I want you to consider what you say very carefully.
I know nothing in detail of the proposed sale of the estate.
I will ask you again.
There is nothing I can add to what I have just said.
So I want you to go away and consider your position.
You're sacking me?
Alan?
Nothing Lord Hincham has said could be construed in that light.
I've done my job under very difficult circumstances. Your brother was difficult. Well, look about you. For the most part, he showed little interest. All right. There was a counterbid for the estate. And I believe that Mr. Ewan Chivers was represented.
It was led in the neighbourhood by Mr. Chivers. Isn't that nearer the mark?
I can't say. I really can't say.
Back to Minton's land. What do you advise me to do there?
Well, all the farmers in the neighbourhood are panicking. I don't mean as a consequence of you. It's the agricultural policy of the whole country. I was able to improve the estate in your brother's time, and you can take any expert advice you like on that.
I have.
The consolidated tenancies have worked well. But what you own isn't an agribusiness. You've flown over it. You're not looking at 1,000-acre fields. It's not East Anglia.
This is more helpful.
I'm not a fool, Lord Hincham. I'm telling you, you don't own land that farms itself, or even that would be worth farming at all under some circumstances.
If there were a more valuable use.
That is the point. Now, given the chance and at the proper time, I would have told you of all this. But for some reason, I don't seem to have your confidence.
No, you don't. It's perfectly true. You don't have my trust.
That's a very grave thing to say.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Well, I'll quote your own words. Look about you, Furbank. I come back to find my house in complete disarray, and I'm still waiting for you to furnish an explanation. The most you've said so far is that my brother was difficult.
But what am I supposed to do?
Do as he says. Consider your position.
Dinner's out somewhere. Where I do my book.
You're writing a book?
What I think is called a monograph. I went to Paris to fetch her, you know. Full of fumes and Americans. Sit down, Michael.
Thank you.
And tell me what you've been up to.
What's it about, your book?
Well, in January and February 1377, something very remarkable. But I'm sure if you don't already know, you can wait a little longer to find out. You were telling me of what you've been doing.
I've made up my mind to go and live at Chelworth.
I imagined you might. Good for you.
Do you mean it?
To save time, will she go with you? Yes, I should think so.
How wonderfully dramatic.
You could say.